Good afternoon. My name is Brett Bennett. I am the Director of Ocular Benefits for SKYGEN USA. I've been working in the eye care industry for about 25 years. I've been started out as a dispensing optician working at an optical shop, took over lab management, became an optometric, eventually started clinical management, and then I got into the insurance industry and I worked as the Director of Provider Services for a company in Detroit for 10 years, and now I'm the Director of Ocular Benefits at SKYGEN USA. This experience allowed me to have the opportunity to serve as the operational lead for the SKYGEN International Foundation. Through 2018 to 2019, I embarked on 3 separate humanitarian missions to Tanzania, Africa, as part of a team to establish mobile vision clinics, train local staff, and provide much needed vision testing and eyeglasses to tens of thousands of local Tanzanians in need. So what is SKYGEN? SKYGEN USA is a family of companies headquartered in Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin. We offer technology-enabled solutions in third-party benefit administration. In lay terms, we build claim systems for insurance companies, and we also administrate a third-party administrate specialty benefits, primarily vision and dental benefits. So for United Healthcare, usually Medicaid is our typical line of business. We administrate the dental benefits and a lot of the vision benefits for the large managed care orgs across the country. We have clients in 42 states and about 35 million member lives that we administrate benefits for. Tell you about the SKYGEN International Foundation. I'm going to share my screen, so hopefully you can see my presentation pop up here. Is everybody able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. The SKYGEN International Foundation was founded on a dream of our founder and chairman, Craig Caston, to do more good in the world. On a family trip to Tanzania, he saw the opportunity to take the work that we do at SKYGEN and apply it to a need that he saw in that country, where he witnessed children in schools standing noses up to the chalkboards because they couldn't see to read the writing on the board. The SKYGEN International Foundation brings the power of SKYGEN USA's innovations in technology and digital capabilities to bear on a global issue, which is an overall lack of access to healthcare. I'm going to segue into a short video clip here.
Every day, we help people like these in the healthcare industry. But since we're in the business of creating groundbreaking technology to provide data and analytics, we never actually see the people we help. Fortunately, we created the SKYGEN International Foundation. In 2018, we, in real time and with our own hands, helped Tanzanians to see. With our partners' help, we tested and provided prescriptions for over 50,000 children and adults, testing attendees' eyes and giving exact prescription eyeglasses each day for 95% of the people. For people with more complicated prescriptions, we had them custom made in Kenya. We also trained local care teams on mobile diagnostic equipment. We came. We helped them get the eye care they desperately needed, and we saw it all with our very own eyes. So while our everyday passion and dedication is to helping people we can't see, we can find ways to help those we can. Can you help our vision to help theirs?
So currently, nearly 2.5 billion people in the world need eyeglasses, and the World Health Organization estimates that over 153 million people worldwide are visually impaired due to uncorrected refractive error. Uncorrected refractive error is simply nearsightedness, farsightedness, need for bifocals, so conditions that are all simply corrected with a pair of eyeglasses. Of those, 90% live in low-income third world countries. In Tanzania and other developing countries, a severe shortage of eye doctors, only 4 for every 2 million people, affects millions of children who can't see the blackboard clearly. Children whose families can't even afford an eye exam or the prescription glasses that would help them excel in school. Many of these kids end up classified as intellectually poor students or slow learners and therefore don't progress at school, which just adds another hurdle to the countries struggling to break the cycle of poverty. Adults struggling to see on the job risk limited productivity and even physical danger. With prescription eyeglasses and the ability to see clearly, the lives of adults and children can be transformed. The fact is that a pair of custom glasses has the power to change a life and make every day richer. Our mission was to find cost-effective ways to improve healthcare in underserved parts of the world by using emerging technologies. The foundation worked to deliver life-changing benefits to those without them due to the cost or lack of access to care and technology. The foundation launched its first effort in July of 2018 with a trip that brought the gift of better vision to citizens in the African nation of Tanzania. By helping Tanzanians see their world more clearly, we hope to enhance their quality of life. So why did we start with Tanzania? Part of the reason we started with Tanzania was that, again, our founder was on a safari vacation there, was very active in the Lutheran Church, so he visited the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Tanzania and met with their bishop, and he took him on a tour of the school. Now, the church actually runs about half the schools in Tanzania, and the other half are run by the state. But again, when he went to some of these schools, again, it was a very common thing to see that most of these kids were straining to see, were up at the chalkboard just to read a simple lesson on the board. So again, it was something that came about based on an opportunity that our founder saw. But the other reasons were that Tanzania suffers from one of the worst accesses to vision care due to the extremely limited number of eye doctors. To put this in perspective, again, there's about 4 eye doctors for every 2 million people. In the United States, there's about 2 eye doctors for every 7,000 people. So in a country of 57 million, there are probably less than 100 eye doctors available, and most of them live in the urban areas and the cities. So most of these rural subsistence farmers that live in the poor areas cannot afford to travel the long distances to reach an eye doctor. A couple of the other points on the slide, very poor country, about 68% live below the international poverty line, which is $1.90 per day. And it's a very young population, whereas 2/3 of Tanzanians are under 25 years of age. Very high birth rate in that country, so a lot of kids in schools, and there are tons of schools because they really don't have the transportation to get around. There's no busing or anything else, so most of the schools have to be in with walking distance where the kids' villages are. So we've already gone to about 215 schools just in the Meru district in Arusha, Tanzania. So, you know, a huge ground to cover, trying to get to all the kids. We also hold adult clinics where we see adults and elderly. We've done about 115 general population clinics that we host. We're able to see about 300 to 400 people a day and do vision testing and glasses for them. The process of determining the right optical equipment to outfit our mobile clinics in Tanzania was unique and challenging, to say the least. All our gear had to be lightweight, versatile, portable, and either manually or battery operated, because we rarely have electricity and outlets available to us in school and field clinics. Very often we don't even have lights, overhead lights, so we have to work from sun up to sundown. These conditions are definitely not the normal for operating environments of an optometry practice. Working with our optometrists as consultants, we strove to provide the best equipment for the rustic conditions while still maintaining the highest quality of care for our patients. Our final decision on the equipment that we would bring to Africa also determined the workflow for how the clinics would run. From the initial visual acuity testing to frame selection and delivery and guidance on how to take care of their eyewear. Our first step that we do is called visual acuity testing. This is something that they do for children in school in the United States. It's a relatively simple procedure. There's an eye chart that we use that the kids stand 10 feet away from. You can do a 10-foot chart or a 20-foot chart. It just changes the size of the chart, and 10-foot chart smaller than the 20-foot. We use a chart called the tumbling E chart. This is something that is used for when you have language barriers or speaking difficulties in groups. Instead of having to actually say the letter that they see on the chart, they basically have to point in the direction of where the E is facing. If you notice the video on the top right-hand corner of the screen, we do these in large groups because we have to proctor, and the proctors tell the children how to do the test, basically, you know, how to respond, where to point when they see the E. They cover their eye with an occluder, which is a little black paddle, and we do the right eye and the left eye. We get the visual acuities. They're written down on a prescription card. And then we also do the near vision acuities. If you see over here, they're doing a close-up. This is done with a card that's in their native language of Swahili, and they read down to the smallest line. So we have a distance visual acuity and a near visual acuity. From there, we move on to what's called autorefraction. Again, this is something that's commonly done in optometry practice when you get your eyes done. It's typically a machine that's on a counter. You put your chin in a chin rest, and it does a quick scan of your eyes, and it actually comes up with an objective prescription of your eyes. An autorefractor is a computer-controlled machine used during an eye exam to provide an objective measurement of a person's prescription for eyeglasses. This is achieved by shining a light into the eye and then measuring how it changes and reacts as it bounces off the back of the eye. The patient is shown an image or a shape that moves in and out of focus, and the machine takes several measurements to determine when the eye is focused. Just noting, this is an objective measurement, meaning that there is absolutely no patient feedback from an autorefraction. This is basically a digital measurement. When we do an eye exam with the doctor using the phoropters or test trial frames, that's subjective, where the patient tells you how they're seeing through the glasses. So this is more of a pre-test again. We do the visual acuity and the autorefraction as pre-tested to screen who needs glasses and who doesn't. This is so that the kids that have 20/20 or 20/30 vision are generally let go without getting glasses. The ones that have vision over 20/40, which is also the same line that the DMV uses in the United States when you get your driver's license, they are seen for further evaluation. We have 2 optometrists that work with us, and they do the eye exams. Autorefractor was a tough piece of equipment for us to actually nail down. We went through a couple of different versions of this before we landed on our final machine here. This is called the Kaleidos autorefractor. It's kind of a neat device. This long tube, it looks like a drinking bird that would dip into a glass. This actually keeps the light in the environment for the autorefraction at the perfect darkness, and also keeps the patient the exact distance from the autorefractor they need to be. If we had to do this with a handheld unit, we could not control the amount of ambient light if we were in a dark room, if we were outside. So this makes the test, you can do it anywhere. It tilts up and down, so you can do it on kids, you can do it on adults when it's standing upright, you can do it on patients that are in wheelchairs. So very versatile, completely battery operated. It feeds the information from the test to a tablet that from there we actually write down on the prescription card what the autorefraction is, and then again, depending on if their script passes a specific threshold, they either go to see the doctor to get a regular eye exam, or they are let go to go back to class. So our next stage is they meet with the optometrist for an actual eye exam, just like typically like you would have when you go to an optometrist in the United States. We brought several different types of refractive devices with us. In the top right corner, this is called a phoropter. A lot of you have probably used this when this is a common instrument in an optometrist's office. This has hundreds of lenses that are inside this machine, and they're controlled by just flipping a dial back and forth. This is where the doctor would generally say better 1 or 2, 2 or 3, 3 or 4. Again, they're trying to find where your prescription gets where you don't see any improvement with a higher or script or a different access turn. So the same thing can be accomplished with what's called a trial frame. This young gentleman is wearing a trial frame. Looks a little goofy, but this actually holds up to 5 different lenses in the actual eye portion. You drop these little circular lenses into slot trays in the front of each eye. So we can build a prescription. We can add just a little bit by putting a quarter or a half diopter on, and the lenses can rotate so you can set axis. Very adjustable. The earpieces, the nose pieces, the entire frame, all those blue knobs adjust how the frame fits, so you can get them on a very small child or an adult. And again, does the exact same function. They look at an eye chart on the wall, and we slip different lenses. So a lot of times the doctor will go back and forth between using the phoropter and the trial frames. We also use a variety of scopes, a retinoscope and an ophthalmoscope. They do these to actually be able to look into the pupil or the eye to actually see if there's any cataracts. I think she's looking for cataracts in this older gentleman here. Or if somebody's complaining of irritation or redness in the eyes, allergies. So again, we address all different concerns when we're seeing patients during the day, not just the prescription. Cataract surgery, obviously, we cannot do on site. They're referred generally to the nearest hospital to get that procedure evaluated and done. After they have a final prescription, We do frame selection and assembly and delivery. This is something that is actually is kind of unique to us. If any of you are familiar with how Lions Club operates, they take donations of used eyeglasses, and then they provide glasses to third world countries and poor areas. But what they do is they actually try to find a pair of glasses that does the best possible improvement with the current lenses in them. So they're never actually the custom-made or exact prescription for a patient. They're a near prescription, something you can find that helps and makes their vision better, but isn't necessarily exactly what they need. We actually custom make all our glasses for the patients. The way we do this, we have a unique product that one of our partners, Essilor, creates, and it's called a ready-to-clip frame. There are 3 different frames. So there's an adult men's, an adult women's, and a children's frame. We have many colors of these, so girls and boys can all have different colors. They're smaller plastic frames, fairly fashionable. And we have lenses pre-cut for each one of those 3 varieties of frames in every single prescription spherically from +6 to -6. So what we can do is actually on site, they pick the frame, we look at the prescription, and we can snap the lenses into the frame on site. They're all pre-cut. And this is a station where we're actually putting together the glasses based on the prescription from the doctors. And the actual glasses, we have lenses in a little packet that are labeled with what powers they are. They're symmetrical, so they can fit in either the right or left eye. And again, they snap into fit, so you can put whichever power they need in the right eye, power they need in the left eye, snap them in, and the patient walks away with their glasses. This was addressed a huge concern with how we would deliver the glasses. We originally were thinking we would make all the glasses in a lab, like they normally do in the States, where they custom grind them to order. It takes a couple days sometimes to get them back. If we had to do that, we'd have to have everybody come back in and pick up their eyeglasses at some point in time. People don't have addresses. There are only P.O. boxes there, so there's really no way to get the glasses to the people. So in this, with this type of frame, we can deliver over 95% of our glasses on site. People walk away from the clinics with their glasses. And about 22% of our patients require distance correction. These are mainly the children in school. So when we deal with schools, the kids, about 20% of the kids need glasses. It's a little bit lower than what we see in the States, where about 30% of primary school kids need glasses. A lot of that's generally attributed to screen time. These kids don't use iPads or computers or game systems. So their eyes are actually, slightly, they have a lower incident of requiring a refractive correction. The other clinics we do, which are for general population, we usually, mostly what comes there are older adults and elderly. They typically need reading glasses. Over 45 or so, usually your near vision prescription starts to fade a little bit. A lot of these patients haven't been able to read for 20, 30 years or more. And we then issue them ready-made readers, very similar to what you would see at the rack on Walgreens or CVS. We fit them with a power, and then we let them try on different powers with a reading card to see which helps them better. Again, very similar to how you would do this if you went to a drugstore and picked up a pair of just over-the-counter reading glasses. But again, reaction from the seniors is usually, it's incredible, because, again, if you couldn't read for the last 20 or 30 years, you imagine being able to pick up a book or a Bible or whatever, you're looking to read and be able to see clearly. It's really an amazing thing. It's such a simple thing that we provide, but it makes a big difference in their lives. Our last step is patient registration. We do keep track. We put all the patients in our system that we do exams on. Reason we do this is, again, so if the patients lose their glasses or break the glasses, they can come back to the diocese, and we can actually remake their glasses based on the information in the system. It also helps us track inventory, which frames we've dispensed, colors, and also the prescription lenses, because every week we replenish our supply, and that's all based upon what was dispensed in the clinics. In addition to helping the patients with their prescriptions, we've also created jobs in Tanzania. We have a team of about 12 field workers that run all the tests. Each one of them has a responsibility in a station they work at. And we also have 2 optometrists that are licensed optometrists in Tanzania that we employ full-time. So the clinics run 5 days a week, and they do typically 200 or 300 exams a day, 5 days a week. Right now, they're facing the same situation that we're in. They've been shut down for a number of weeks now, just because they don't really have the ability to social distance, and there's not the hygienic facilities available to a lot of the people. Even hand washing is difficult in some places. So they've been on hiatus for a few weeks. They did start doing some repair work and emergency procedures. If people broke or lost their glasses, they can come to the diocese. They all wear masks and wash hands, and they've been seeing a few patients, but very limited, again, due to the coronavirus. Real quick, the partners that we work with, Adaptive makes our auto refractor. They do all the training by Skype to the African team. Very generous company as far as their help and the training that they provided for us. Esler makes the frames, those ready-to-clip frames. They supply all our lenses. They have a lab in Nairobi, so when we can't supply on-site glasses, if somebody has a very high prescription or high astigmatism, the glasses are actually made in a lab in Nairobi, which is just north in Kenya. And it takes 2 or 3 weeks, but the glasses come back with the exact prescription ground into them that the patient needs if they have a higher prescription. The Evangelical Lutheran Church of Tanzania has been our partner since the beginning. They provided us a headquarters. All our gear is stored at their diocese. They provided drivers to get us to the schools and the clinics that we worked in. They gave us sites to start with. So they wanted to work with us. Over 40% of the people in the Meru district of Arusha are Lutheran. So very high Christian and Lutheran population religiously. And then finally, SKYGEN. Our foundation is almost 100% privately funded. SKYGEN provides not only the capital and the revenue for running the foundation, but also the staff. I mean, I work for SKYGEN. I also work for the foundation. SKYGEN pays my salary and also any of the other executives involved. So that does not come out of the foundation funds. All the funds from the foundation go directly to helping the people in Tanzania. Where our materials come from, our glass cases, cleaning pouches, cards, they all come from Waukesha, Wisconsin. Basically everything we either bring over or ship over when we go over twice a year. Our auto refractors are actually produced in Italy, but they ship from a company, a distributor in Florida. Everything ends up in Tanzania. The frames, we have bought a couple of Land Rovers. The roads are just absolutely terrible there. I mean, to get around, you need an all-terrain vehicle, literally. You get off the main roads and it's just all dirt, rutted roads. So very difficult to get around if you don't have something that has a lot of suspension and stability. To date, we've helped over 136,000 people. We've tested vision on since July of 2018. Obviously, not everybody needs glasses. We do not issue glasses to people that don't need them. So we've distributed about 27,000 pairs of custom eyeglasses since we started. We've done 122 community clinics and 215 schools. Again, obviously the children at the schools are a big focus because there's so many of them. But we also, when we do the schools, we also do vision testing on the teachers and provide the teachers eyeglasses. So we help everybody at the school get better vision and the help that they need. We recently, in October of 2019, we finally finished the Meru district. That's like a county where we're at. So in the state of Wisconsin, that's like finishing a county. We're now moving into the city schools, like Milwaukee City Schools. We're moving into the Arusha City Schools. A lot more schools, about twice as many schools. So it'll probably take us like 18 to 24 months to finish that area. We still come back to the areas that we started in to do clinics for people that have had issues, broken glasses, lost glasses, or prescription changes. We've recently added dental hygiene education to our clinics because we are a dental benefit administrator. We actually have access to all of the little trial kits where you get a toothbrush and a small tube of toothpaste. So we bring those over, and when we give the kids the glasses, we also give them a dental hygiene kit, and somebody sits down and explains to them the importance of brushing their teeth twice a day. We are definitely looking to expand our scope of operations and add teams to areas, especially Kenya is another area that's just north of Tanzania. But every team requires staff, equipment, and additional funding. So right now we only have the one team working in Tanzania, but future goals are to expand upon that. Where we spend our money, again, almost the entire amount of money that we bring in for the foundation from company donations goes straight to the work that we do in Africa. We don't have very much as far as administrative and overhead. It's all eyeglasses, transportation, testing equipment, and the worker salaries are for the Tanzanian employees that we have working in our field clinics. Lastly, SKYGENFoundation.org is our website. If you want to go on there at any point in time, it's got some wonderful blogs, videos, photos, the whole story of what we've done since we started in July of 2018. This is something that, you know, you sometimes say a little bit can make a big difference. You know, each pair of glasses costs us approximately $5 to make. That's wholesale. That's what we get charged from the lab to get the lens in the frame. So again, very small amount goes a long way. If anybody's interested in becoming involved in or helping, you know, it's SKYGENFoundation.org. Check it out. It's a really neat site to see. This is our team. I thank you for giving me your time and listening to our presentation. Again, this is the team that's been with us since we started back in July of 2018. A lot of these people have, you know, never had any experience with eye care. We taught them, and they love what they do. And they run into the people that they help all the time. They live in the area that they work, so you know they absolutely love the work that they do, and we appreciate their efforts. So, you know, great team to work with, and you know, we're blessed to be able to do this and provide the service. So again, I appreciate the time, and I open up for any questions that you have. I think you're still on mute, Tara.
You'll have to unmute yourself if you want to ask a question, because I think everyone's.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Have you been in touch with any Rotary clubs over there, especially if you're going into Kenya? They have some very strong Rotary clubs that are very involved. So I just wondered if you've done your presentation, especially with all the Zoom meetings right now. It might be a perfect time.
We have met with the Rotary Club in the Mero district, where we were working for the last almost 24 months. And we've done our presentation to them. We haven't done any by Zoom. I don't know whether or not they possess the technology there. They may. But again, we have done our presentation to them. They've actually had them out to the clinics to actually see our operation. We are working, we started doing Rotary Club presentations in the Milwaukee area where we're located. So I think that the area governor for the Milwaukee area was starting a global grant process. It kind of got put on hiatus when the whole coronavirus thing. But again, it was something that we presented to a large portion of the Milwaukee Rotary clubs. We have a partner club in Tanzania, so there's an opportunity there possibly for a global grant in the future, but it might not be till 2021 that we're looking at that. But definitely, yes, we've been involved with Rotary in Africa and over on this side too.
Great.